It looks like we are live. I was talking to my daughter there, so we might have caught that. Anyway, so I think this is my 40th episode of Sight Reading Maverick, at least via YouTube. I realized last night that I did a few of these before I did them on YouTube on Facebook. Details, details. I'm saying this is my 40th episode, and we're going to stick with that. So welcome to anybody that is new to Sight Reading Maverick. This is my weekly sight reading show. People send in requests, and then I do my best to try to sight read them. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it's a little bit questionable. So we'll see how today goes. Let's see, what else? Details. If you are logged into YouTube with your account, you should be able to chat and leave some comments in the chat box next to the video. So I always love to see people say hi or leave their feedback about pieces, ask questions about my process with sight reading, you name it. We also have, again today, a composer friend of mine who I know from Twitter, and sometimes they're also there too. So it's fun to engage with them if they are there. What else? Below the video is the list of pieces I will be doing today, and also links to the scores, so you can follow along if you wish. And you can count how many wrong notes I play or how many notes I leave out. Quite all right. Maybe you could do a statistical analysis and you could keep it to yourself. Just joking. So it looks like Louis is here. I am so glad, Louis, even with this time change difference. Thank you for being here. And without further ado, I think I'll begin. So the first piece on the program is slightly unusual, and this was my own request and curiosity. This is C.P.E Bach's Fantasia in F sharp minor. And I have never, well, I think except the solfeggietto, which I think he wrote and I learned as a child, I had not ever played his music. I've sight read, I think now 2 of his sonatas here on the show. But I came upon this and thought of my friend Inca Warrior, who often watches the show, because he says he's writing me right now a piece that's in this style. So there are places where there's a meter, a time signature, and bar lines, but there are also huge sections that don't. So I thought it would be fun to read something like that. I think with something like this, so it's highly improvisatory. I think most of you know I'm not a real expert in Baroque music, so please be forgiving here with ornaments and that type of thing. But anyway, I think what I like about this is that there's so many patterns, and I talk all the time to students about learning to read in patterns. If I were to try to read this note by note, it would be really, really tricky. Anyway, so this goes back and forth between being slow, it looks like, and then here we've got an allegretto. And like, yeah, the allegretto is just tons and tons of 30-second notes, which is sort of scary, I have to say, but we're gonna try it. And it goes slow again, and it's more metered at that point, but I think I can still be relatively free. Adagio, largo. Oh my. And then you turn the page and it's lots of 30-second notes again. Within a largo, so that's helpful. Adagio, allegretto. Anyway, it goes back and forth. And what's typical in a fantasia is that it looks like it's going to be moving through lots of different keys. So there's lots of accidentals too. So I think my strategy in doing this is going to be really looking ahead. Well, first of all, taking the time I want and need in order to be able to look ahead and see if I can ascertain harmonically what's going on, and also to really see where a pattern begins and ends, and to use those as my guide as I sight read. I have no idea. I don't really know the tempo. So we've got 30-second notes are the fastest note value. Those occur in adagio, but also within the faster parts. But let's see. The first part is the relative speed of the 32nd notes. I think that's going to be okay because that'll keep it a tempo where those fast notes can be lyrical. Let's try it. Yeah, that was a whirlwind of craziness. And my strategies, well, I think my strategies started to work at the end. But what I found is that, wow, it is so not uh, tonally centered around anything that was very disorienting. And there were key signatures and I don't even know how to explain it. It was just wacky to read. So if you want a fun challenge, try reading that. It was much more difficult than I thought it was going to be. So thanks for hanging in there with me. Okay, the next piece, as I turn to it, looks much easier. This was a request by Louis, and this is Franz Liszt's Abschied, which means farewell. So 4/4, no key signature. So A minor, I'm guessing from the looks of it. No faster note value than eighth note. Yay! So no craziness. It doesn't even look like harmonically it's very crazy. So let's go ahead and read it. Andante, let's see, eighth notes. And I'm also trying to find a melody that I can hear in my head or play so that oftentimes using that melody as a basis for my tempo choice can really help me narrow it down. Otherwise, it can be too overwhelming. And yes, there is a metronome marking indicated at the beginning, but I often like to try to find my own too. But interestingly enough, yeah, this really shouldn't be too slow. When I look, it says half note equals 80. That's kind of surprising, actually. I don't really believe that. I think it's more quarter note equals 80, but anyway. This does not look like Liszt. Okay. I would have never guessed that that was Liszt. So if I had just heard that without knowing that, no clue. Very, very interesting. Kind of curious about when that was written in his life. Really would make a good sight reading piece. In fact, one of the thoughts that occurred to me is it's very much a hymn-like texture. And personally, I don't really like giving hymns too much to students to sight read for various reasons. I won't get on that soapbox right now. But so this would produce a really nice sight reading exercise for that 4-part texture. Let's see. I'm looking at some notes. Richard said, I think Schubert listened to a lot of C.P.E Bach. Yes, I agree. And Sandra said, love this wacky harmony. Indeed. And then Louis said with this, yeah, what a contrast to the C.P.E Bach. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I could have programmed that any better. Or maybe that's not good. I don't know. And then Sandra just said, maybe this is late Liszt and based on a Russian folk song. Interesting. Okay. All good information. So Louis, thanks for requesting that. Very cool piece. Yeah. All right. Next on the program was one of Nick's requests, and this is Felix Swinstead. I hope I'm saying that right. His Prélude romantique, Opus 54. Apparently, so he was an English composer, and he studied at the Royal Academy of Music. I think he may have also taught there, which I don't know if that's the same thing as the Royal School. Anyway, I don't know the schools in London very well. So let's give this a whirl. I don't know much else. It says it's in 4/4 or in parentheses 12/8. Andante con molto, molto espressivo. Right down my alley. Gotta love espressivo. No key signature. It looks like it's in C major though. There's this really horrible ledger line thing at the end. So C, A, F, D, C. It does end on a C. There's nothing wrong with counting ledger lines, by the way. So if you need to count ledger lines, do it. Okay. We've got this accompanimental, kind of a nocturne like left hand. But it looks like there's sort of a hidden melody in it. Oh, my keys are doing weird things. Sorry, distracting. But it only does that the first 2 measures. Then the right hand comes in with the melody. Just a single line, so it's really not a very dense piece, which is nice, not a dense texture. But yeah, there's some hidden little lines in here that look lovely. We got more ledger lines on the 3rd page here, but they're easy to catch. Ooh, this looks lovely. So we've got triplets, we've also got duples. Nothing faster than the triplets though. So the triplets are definitely going to help us come up with the tempo. And actually even that interaction between the triplets and the duples I think are going to be important in choosing the tempo, because you don't want them to be too aggravated in a piece that's marked molto espressivo, prélude romantique, that type of thing. Probably no faster than that. So, 3, 4. there were things that caught me off guard in that, but really lovely. I think I could have pushed through some sections a little bit more than I did and turned the page better. But really interesting. So I had not heard of Swinstead, and I'm hoping I'm saying that's right. Oh, Melanie's on. Hi, Melanie. And she says this is her favorite. So yay, a composer that she knows about at least. I'm guessing that a lot of people in the UK know about him, but I don't know if he's as popular elsewhere. So that was a good introduction. So thank you, Nick, for that request. All right. Next is, speaking of Melanie. So Melanie is in the chat box. And I'm about to play one of her pieces. So Melanie is a fantastic pianist and composer, pedagogue who's based in the UK, I believe in London. And she has great social media presence, all that type of thing. So you should definitely check her out. You should be blushing, Melanie. Anyway, I ordered a few months ago. She has a set of piano method books for adults, and I think it's called Play It Again. And I ordered them, and this piece was in there. And I basically chose this one because of the title. So it's called Frenzy. I don't normally choose etudes to sight read, so this could be very interesting, especially because, I don't know, this is not one of my better sight reading days. But, so my strategy for this, what I was going to say is I chose Frenzy because I feel like my life is very frenzied right now. So I thought it would fit my life state, and I thought maybe that would help. We will soon find out. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm looking at this. Melanie, there's lots of 16th notes, and it says presto. There's all these 16ths in the right hand, which make it an etude. It's always good to know what the composer is after in an etude. My guess is lovely melody, and then also this busyness. So I'm looking at these patterns. Is there a method to the madness? I don't know. So at first the patterns are very straightforward. They're just cascading down. But I see that she plays around with the order of them. So I'm trying to see if it's consistent. So when she changes it, is it always this? No. Then it changes here. Oh, and then it cascades up. And then, oh no. Okay. So what's my strategy? I don't know. I'm going to grab onto the patterns as well as I can. I'm going to not worry. Melanie, don't listen to this. I'm not going to worry so much if I'm getting them in the wrong order. But we're going to try. I'm going to do my best. A minor. Then there's this big section at the end that is like the opening kind of triumphant thingy. And so when I get there, I'm definitely going to tell myself to relax and to breathe so that I can do the ending, which is triple forte. Let me figure out. This is a cascading thing at the end. So A minor. It ends on the lowest A. So if not, all else fails, I'm going to end on a low A. Tempo. Not as fast as it's marked. Why did I choose this one? Okay. Let's see, what's the melody? That's what I'm going to do when I get there. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yay! I made it. Something's very wrong with my low A, unfortunately. Anyway, oh, Melanie, that was actually a lot of fun and not quite as daunting as I thought it was going to be. Although there were some patterns in there that were crazy, where it's all... Anyway, but I really enjoyed that. So, and I think that would be a fun piece for any student to learn. So please do check out in the link or in the box below, there are links to Sheet Music Plus where you can get a hold of Melanie's music. So if you liked that, check it out. And Melanie, thank you so much for being here and thank you for letting me play that. So, all right. Next on the program is another request by Louis. And, oh, Melanie said, bravo! Thank you, Melanie. And thank you, truly. All right, so Louis' request. Okay, this is J.S. Bach's Concerto in D minor, BWV 974, after the Marcello Oboe Concerto. I'm a little confused about this because the slow movement is one I actually kind of know. Because I've played it on cello and in all sorts of variations. But anyway, but I thought that was Marcello, so I'm just confused. But here's the first movement. I'm not sure if I'm going to read the second movement or not, just because that would be kind of cheating, because I do know it. So, but Louis, if you really want me to play it, I'm happy to play it because I love it. So if you want me to play the second movement too, just put that in the chat box while I'm doing the first movement. Concerto, it doesn't actually have a tempo indication, so we have to kind of scan through to determine what that is. And I don't think I know this, but there's 30-second notes right here. So that's going to kind of determine a tempo. And there's also these yeah. I think that's the tempo I'm going to do. It feels, it's always frustrating when the 30-second notes or the faster notes come in later because the beginning is going to feel slow to me. But if I do the beginning too fast, then when I get to the 30-second notes, we're very likely to have issues. So, anyway. mean, I'm just having a hard time grasping what this was originally written for. So, Louis, actually, if you know, I'm sure you do, if you can put that in the comments, I'd be curious, like where this comes from. Um, yes, you would love to hear the second movement. All right, then for you, the second movement. Here we go. This one's notorious because it has lots of subdivisions, but it's so gorgeous. So I'm sight reading this particular version, but I know the piece, if that makes sense. There was a missing C sharp in there. Sorry about that. Oh, that is such a gorgeous movement. So I'm glad you requested that, Louis. Um, Bach also, let's see, this is Bach's arrangement for keyboard. Okay. I just had no idea he did that. I guess I'm not surprised. I knew Bach did a lot of arrangements. But Louis also says that he arranged some of Vivaldi's violin concertos, maybe next week. Yes, please. That would be great. I would love to look at those. A little bit awkward at points, but really great. So, okay. Next, thank you, Louis, for requesting that. Next on the program is another request by Nick, and this is, I believe, another English composer's piece by Thomas F. Dunhill. This is A Summer Lullaby, Opus 41, number 2. And we're at the kind of tail end of the show, so I am going to not narrate quite as much of what I'm thinking about, but I'll do a little bit. So we're in D major, quite clearly. There's a lovely little poem at the beginning, about cute little hands, little feet, birds in a nest. So I won't read all the words. 6/8. Andante moderato e cantabile. There are 16th notes that come in the middle when it changes key. So we don't want those too fast. I think we'll do that. Does it change tempo? The middle section is più animato. So I think I'm gonna do 4, 5, 6. Definitely a beautiful lullaby. There was one chord that kept catching me off, and I don't know if I did it right. I guess that is right. Every time I hit it, I was like, I'm not so sure. Anyway, and when you're sight reading, you try not to play too many mind games and look back, right? Yeah, beautiful. And that's a really good exercise, actually, in doing these inner voice melodies that are distributed between the two hands. I didn't catch that as I was glancing over it before I started. I probably should have. But anyway, so that's really good exercise for that. Beautiful little piece. So I need to see if Mr. Dunhill wrote any other things. Melanie piped in, another excellent but neglected British composer, Dunhill. I think that's why Nick requested them, Melanie. I'm not sure, but he tends to like to pick these pieces out. And they're great. They're great reading pieces too. Not too difficult, which I appreciate. Okay, next on the list is another request of mine. This is a new composer to me too. This is Mykola Lysenko, who was Ukrainian. And I listened to some of his music and really loved it. Found it intriguing. This one looked readable. It's Oh, I'm not even going to try to say it. Just look in the details. It translates into anguish, though. So it's marked moderato mesto, so sad. F minor, you guys know me. I love minor things. I love sad things. Even though I'm a very optimistic person. Who would have guessed? It just looks very like Eastern European gushiness, loveliness. So I'm really looking forward to it. There is a middle section. It's a little bit different, but not much. But it's marked più doloroso, so even more kind of full of pain. I think, yeah. And then it goes back. Okay, at the end, I do see some triplets that creep in. If this is the bit, see, what is my tempo going to be? That's going to be my tempo. So triplets are not too fast. Ugh, and they're kind of like crunchy chords. It's only 2 pages. All right, here we go. beautiful. It's very simple and straightforward. And I mean, I have to admit that as I was playing it, I was sort of thinking to myself, it's a little bit repetitive. But in sight reading, of course, that always presents such a good challenge. Well, first, I should say there's nothing wrong with the repetitiveness. But the other thing is that offers us a really good challenge to dig even deeper and to figure out how can we make this even more gorgeous and beautiful and not boring. So hopefully I was able to do that at least a little bit. So gorgeous. So I'm eager to read more music by him. And there's another composer that's Ukrainian I discovered while discovering Lysenko that I'm going to share, I think, next week. So stay tuned for more of that. Let's see, Malia. Hi, Malia. She said, love it. Yay. And Sandra said, beautiful music today. Thank you. All right. I'm going to end with some Robert Fuchs, Sommermärchen. I don't know how to say it. I never do. Let's look for a good one to end on. I don't know. This all looks a little bit scary. I think my brain is starting to shut down. Oh no, forget that. Okay, gotta find a good one. I know nothing. I've heard the name Robert Fuchs, but I was gonna try to find an upbeat one, but I'm not sure I'm gonna find it, everyone. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna try this Langsam, Zart und Innig. And again, it's the end of the show, so I'm just gonna go for it. But I do need to choose a tempo, don't I? And this was a Twitter friend that recommended this. So, 1, 2, 1. And, oh, Malia is said, I can't believe you're sight reading this. Oh, I'm hoping that just means that it sounds like I'm not sight reading it. Anyway, but maybe this is a piece you love and you've never heard anybody else play. I don't know. But anyway, that was a really beautiful piece. Again, that was kind of interesting because I had no idea what to expect. And I'm not good with German terms, so I never knew. I rarely know what they mean unless I look them up. Anyway, okay, great show, everyone. I want to thank everybody for their requests. I want to thank everyone for being here, for Malia, Melanie, Sandra, Louie, and I know Robert was here earlier. So, and Mike G, who just piped in. Thank you. So thank you all for joining me. Please, it really does help me if you all send in requests during the week. Otherwise, I spend a lot of time looking for stuff, and then I fall down these rabbit holes that are endless, of course, and end up taking way too much time planning my show. So thanks for joining me. I hope you all have a fantastic week, and happy sight reading if you sight read.